Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
This might be better. Yay! You have to put sound in the mic, Charlotte. Brian's going to count us in so that we can welcome the folks at home. So then I'll give my formal welcome. But thank you, Brian, for being our stream. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's nice to see you.
Shabbat Shalom.
So this week, I'm really delighted to share the bima with Charlotte Liebman, who is being called to the Torah as a Bat Mitzvah tomorrow, and she'll be reading from what Jews all over the planet are reading in Torah, which is the story of the flood and the building of the ark. And I just wanted to invite us to an intention, which is that some of my teachers talk about the fact that we build an ark before the flood. That everything that we do to construct a religious and spiritual home, to make an ark for our soul, to make a home for our hearts, is so that if ever we have to live through a flood or a challenge or a time of darkness, that we have the tools to draw upon. And so I think that for me, very much, Shabbat is an ark. Shabbat is a place to rest and to allow there to be somewhere for our hearts and our souls to blossom, to be touched, to be felt by us. So I hope that that is where we will go and travel on this Shabbat together as we begin our service with greeting the Shabbat angels on page 24 with the singing of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei
to lead us in the candle blessing on page 3.
Well cited. You
First you read.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need all who brings the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. I'm not doing this right.
Okay, I'll do it here, Mom. You want to light it? Go ahead. Okay, perfect.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lechadlik ner shel We use that light of the Shabbos candle to welcome, to call in the Shabbos bride, Shekhinah. So join us in Lecha Dodi as we do just that. Welcome in our Shabbat bride.
Page 20 and 21.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. 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 Limor v'zachor b'limor echad, Ishmi'anu Elham Yechad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'liti la 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 Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habaracha, merosh mikedem v'sucha, so ma'aseh v'machshiva tichla la 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 la. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Hitoreri, hirorehu mi'ori, uri, shidameri, kevod Adonai alayich, la 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 la. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. La 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 la. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela.
Page 26. Remain standing.
Yid Kadash, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'amad yivrach yirchuteh, ve'amlich malchuteh.
V'chayechonu yom echad, u'chayedecha Beit Yisrael, Bagala Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Le'amaya, Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal, Shemei dekudesha
Brichu.
Le'ola min kol birchata v'shrita tushbecha
Bechata v'nechemata, Damira be'alma.
v'yimeru.
Amen.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam Vaed, Le'olam Vaed. Yaladai, 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 yaladai,
On page 30.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravi. Page 32.
Akein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochmeinu ufrumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam vaed Ki'em chayenu ve'orei yameinu u'mahem נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Page 36.
ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
At the top of page 39.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe that what we were taught before we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Page 40, our Song of Freedom.
Malchutech ra'u banecha, bokei hayam liftem Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. And then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more war, and my children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright, 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 alright. Alright, 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 alright.
More than the Jewish people has kept Shabbat, Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. Please join us on page 44 for Vishamru.
V'shomru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat v'toratam b'ritot. V'shomru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat v'toratam b'ritot. Ve'nilvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Ve'shomru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat v'toratam b'ritot olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shomru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat v'toratam b'ritot olam. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vaynapash, Shabbat vaynapash, Shabbat vaynapash. V'shomru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat v'toratam b'ritot olam. V'shomru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot
Adonai,
Sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot v'imachot, Umevii Geula livnei bneihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye metim atah Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye metim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umido melech, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
At the top of page 55.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may all this day fulfill is promised.
Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, ve'amcha Yisrael, amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam, be'ahava tekabel. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, ve'amcha Yisrael, amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam, be'ahava tekabel. U'tehi l'ratzon tamid, avodat Yisrael amecha,
Say Adonai Eloheinu Le'amcha Yisrael U'tefilata Be'ahava
Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch hu Baruch Shemo
המחזיר שכינתו לציון.
Amen.
At the top of page 59.
God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, u'lecha na'eh lehodot.
Join us on page 60 and 61 for our anthem of peace, Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah hu melech Adon bechol hashalom. Ki atah hu melech Adon bechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov b'neinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
At this time, we turn our thoughts and our prayers to all of those who are in need of God's healing presence in their lives, those who are broken in mind or body or spirit. And I invite you on our song sheets this evening to this evening's Misha Berach as we hold for healing these from our congregational families: Betty Cohen, Amy Cooper, Stephanie Cooper, Andrew Fisher, Beatrice Fry, Jacob, Willie and Jonathan Gluckman, Nita Hicks, Marianne Jabin, Dick Kelvin, Chris Kuntz, Chaya Gabriela Bat Geula, Alexandra Rusalillo, Deborah Sanders, Randy Scharf, Debbie Shavitz, Julie Sherman, Howard Stafford, Bob Ward, Hunter White, and all of those who might be lovingly remembered on our live stream this evening in the chat. And if there are names here in the sanctuary you'd like to share aloud for healing, I invite you as our gazes meet.
Ima.
In the back, yeah.
silence. Oh, say shalom, Bimroma. Oh, say shalom, Bimroma. Uyase, 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 shalom. Uyase, 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 shalom. Uyase, 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 shalom. Amen.
Everyone,
Echad, shtayim, shalosh,
we do hands here.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
Come on, Asheville,
May
you
the
show the Florida
one who
people.
makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Be Roma. Oh, say shalom. Be Roma. Uyase, 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 shalom. Uyase, 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 shalom. Uyase, 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 shalom. Ameinu. Echad, shtayim, shalosh, arba. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
Because it's just fun. The hands, they're just fun. In this week's Torah portion, we meet two problematic generations of people, and we see their radical destructions by God. And we shouldn't be surprised. After all, as the coda to last week's creation narrative, the Torah reports how God saw humanity's violent nature and regretted creating them in the first place. One of the generations in this week's Torah portion is called Dor HaMabul, the generation of the flood. Noah was of that generation, and he and his family and a sample of each of the world's creatures were the only ones to survive that total destruction of the world. The other generation is called Dor HaFlaga, the generation of division, and refers to the people who came after Noah and built the Tower of Babel. Their punishment and ultimately their destruction was being scattered all over the world and forever separated from one another by the barrier of language. The Torah identifies that the sin of Dor HaMabul, the generation of the flood, was Hamas, which means violence. And there are many midrashim that come to describe what was so violent or destructive about them. Some say that they had everything they needed, and yet still they committed petty crimes against one another. Another rabbinic legend imagines that the men of the generation of the flood used to take two wives. One they designated to bear children, and the other to keep her husband company. And they forced the childbearing wife to live in total seclusion, in a state of virtual widowhood, while her husband was still alive. And the other was given medications that would ensure she didn't get pregnant, and forced her to sit beside her husband constantly and entertain him. So you can see why they might not have been so great. But what was the crime of the Dor HaFlaga? At first blush, their capacity to collaborate towards a common goal seems to be commendable. They were amazing at cooperating with each other to make bricks and build their cities. The Torah tells us that they even referred to each other as re'im, neighbors, which is the same word that's used in the commandment to love one's neighbor or fellow as oneself. 12th century Torah commentator Rashi even notes approvingly that Dor HaFlaga acted with love and friendship amongst themselves, teaching us that discord is hateful and shalom is great. However, things go off the rails when they decide they need to cooperate to make a name for themselves by building a tower with its top reaching all the way to heaven. So why is that so bad? What's going on there? What's so threatening about making a name for themselves or building a tall building? Bear in mind, this is a story in the Torah to explain to us why people are scattered all over the planet and speak different languages. It's there to explain what precipitated this tectonic division that exists between peoples that persists to this day. So it's a big lesson. One possibility is that Dor HaFlaga was struggling with the fundamental truth of the human condition, that we'll all die and our lives may be of no significance, that all that we do and all that we accomplish and all we contribute during our time on this earth might add up to nothing in the end, and more pointedly, we might be forgotten. And so Dor HaFlaga's idea to build the tower was to try to do something so magnificent that they would gain the immortality of influence, put their mark on history so that no one would ever forget them. However, that magnificent thing also happened to be something quite nefarious. As Elise Wolfson taught us in this week's Torah study, this aspiration turned out to be not so great because it explicitly violated the divine will. When God began to create the world, God intentionally separated heaven from earth. The hubris of Dor HaFlaga was that they wanted to connect them back together, which we can only understand as an affront to the divine. So while the generation of the flood was guilty for violating the relationship ben adam lachavero, between humans, from human to human, the generation of division violated the relationship ben adam lamakom, between humanity and God. Dor HaFlaga succumbed to feeling so small and so insignificant that their instinct was to overcompensate and act with sweeping, unchecked arrogance. This is not unlike what Rav Kook was talking about when he wrote, "A state of deficient spirit awakens the drive for self-glorification before others. Therefore, one must intentionally increase inner wholeness, and then one's words when speaking of oneself before others will always be properly balanced." So yes, a deficient spirit might lead one to behave arrogantly, but not feeling like enough on the inside might also lead one to shrink from showing up to others. And that is equally destructive. If we don't feel deserving on the inside, then we lose our bandwidth and energy to serve and give and deepen our connection with others. In fact, Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev says that was Noah's major downfall. That he was, as the Torah says, a righteous man in his generation, but he didn't feel righteous enough to believe that he could have made a difference in changing the outcome for his peers. He neither believed that he could challenge God for planning to destroy the whole world for humanity's sins, or challenge his peers to change their ways. A misguided sense of humility kept him from letting his righteousness shine into his world. In Musar tradition, our character-building tradition, humility, anava in Hebrew, is a practice of being in dialogue from moment to moment with our sense of self, our wholeness of spirit, calibrating and recalibrating so that we show up fully but don't suck the air out of the room. Alan Marinis, a teacher of Jewish ethics, describes healthy humility as no more than my place, no less than my space. For example, if you're in a discussion and you find that yours is the voice you hear the most, check in. Is there something within that lacks a sense of wholeness that is making you overcompensate? Does paying attention to that in the moment help you shift your experience? Or if you're with others and feel everyone has more important things to say than you do, are you feeling a lack of your inner sense of wholeness? And does asking yourself that in the moment shift your experience? The way Simcha Bunim, a 19th century Hasidic rabbi, practiced anava, healthy humility, was by always carrying 2 slips of paper, one in each pocket. On one slip he wrote, Bishvili nivra ha'olam, for my sake the world was created. And he would reach into that pocket and read that slip of paper whenever he felt deflated, despondent, or broken. And on the other slip of paper he wrote, Vanochi afar va'efer, I am but dust and ashes. And he would reach into that pocket and read those words when he was feeling high and mighty and in perfect control. 2 slips of paper like that might be very helpful to us in our practice of anava, healthy humility, or a scarf like mine. Jewish artist Alicia Jo Rabins. Those 2 pockets or the scarf suggest a kind of balance we need to achieve as we walk through the world. Which pocket do you think you'd be reaching in more often? When Dor HaFlaga was feeling small and insignificant, instead of resolving to build a tower, what if they could have reached into their pocket to be reminded that all the great things right there on earth were created just for them? Perhaps they would have given up their delusions of grandeur and kept their feet planted on the ground. And when Dor HaMabul had everything they needed and still felt they needed to take something away from their neighbors, perhaps they would have been reminded that you can spend your life trying to collect most toys, but in the end, we're just dust and ashes. The psalmist said, when I behold your heavens, the work of your hands, the moon and the stars you set in place, what are we human beings that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you even take note of us. You have made us little less than divine and adorned us with glory and majesty. That psalmist was right. In the vast universe, we are but a speck of dust. And in the expanse of time, our days on earth are but a moment. And yet our tradition teaches us that we are little less than divine, and that our time here matters. We are both dust and ashes, but every blessing here on earth was created just for us. Just days before an historic election, I must say the stakes feel very high, that we examine where we are between those two poles. And I counsel each and every one of us, first and foremost, to vote. And then, no matter the outcome, cultivate within us, ourselves, enough wholeness of spirit to believe and continue to believe that humanity will come together and address the deficits in our world, but not too much humility, that we, like Noah, are rendered paralyzed and overwhelmed to do the work that is necessary to fix it. Shabbat Shalom. I invite you to turn with me to page 282 in the middle, where you'll find the words to Aleinu, which is an invitation to us all to take whatever that was good and shining and light and important from this sanctuary into our world to indeed fix it. I invite you to please rise, and anyone who is a friend of Charlotte can join us on the bima and help open the ark. Come on, Analia and Juniper and Annabella. Is Wilson here? Is Wilson here? I see Meredith. Is Wilson here?
Yep.
Oh, yes. All right. You can come on the bima too. Come on. The more the merrier.
A lot of friends.
Anybody under 13 who wants, yay! That's my yay guy. He's coming. Come on. Charlotte, it's nice to see you. Annabella. You're going to open the ark. You're going to open it right there.
I'll hold it for you.
Face there.
Yes, Claire, I'm so happy to see you. Face the ark, Claire. Open it up. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, come on. Oh, yeah. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, lateit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'goraleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Nicely done. Thank you, everybody.
Great job.
Here she comes.
Page 287.
Traffic jam.
May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved, each of us, for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
thoughts turn now to all of those who have departed, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, and the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives are a blessing to humanity. We mention by name these taken from our congregational families in past years. We acknowledge the yahrzeits of Ruth Berger, Molly Blumberg, Arthur Butchers, Eleanor Carr, Perry Coleman, Julius Gershenson, Sybil Green, Stanley Green, Margaret Metter, Benjamin Nathan, Isaac Niger, Joshua Rubin, David Schoenthal, Henrietta Wallace, and Marilyn White. Are there additional names to add in memory at this time, Daniel? We also acknowledge those who are listed in the live stream chat. If you're here remembering a loved one, I invite you to rise so that we might acknowledge your grief. And I invite the congregation to rise and stand beside you as we all turn now to page 294 to join together in the Mourner's Kaddish to praise God for the gifts of life and memory. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon v'yomechon U'b'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shmei d'Kudusha B'richu Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min Shamaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru Amen.
I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes, the curiosity, dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind. Same old song, just a drop of water in an endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Gaia Goldman. I am here representing the Board of Trustees this evening. So first, I would like to welcome Charlotte back up here. So Charlotte, come here just for a moment. I have some gifts for you. But first, I just wanted to say, every time I have this honor to give gifts out, I try to learn a little bit about the person. So with you, it wasn't completely difficult because it just so happens that through my work, I got to meet you and your family fairly soon after you moved to Asheville. But then I thought, I still don't know a lot about her. This was about 2 weeks ago, and I knew I would be up here. So I was starting to panic, thinking, how would I do my intel? And then luck would have it, and this is not a coincidence, that I think it was last Friday or the Friday before, we found ourselves at the same restaurant after the Oneg. Not only that, but we found ourselves sitting next to each other. So I thought, this is my chance. So I will tell you what I found out that stood out about Charlotte. Number one, she loves dumplings. And so do I. So already I felt like this. Number two, we were debating literature, and I was telling her that my favorite genre is historical fiction. And after a while, she goes, so our generation calls it realistic fiction. And we figured out it was the same thing, just about, right? So that was great. And thirdly, what really stood out about her when I asked her what she was most excited about this simcha, she said, my whole family is coming, and there's lots of them, and they're all coming. And they're not just coming for Saturday, they're coming for Friday. And her eyes just lit up, and that just told me, Mom, Dad, she's going to be okay. If she gets that at 13, she's going to be okay. So with that, I have some gifts for you. Why do I give these to you now and not tomorrow? Well, the reality is that you've done most of the work already. Tomorrow is just a little smidge above a formality. You still have to show up, but you've already done the work. So first, and so why are we wrapping them knowing that I'm going to tell you what's in them? I don't know, but there must be a reason. But the first one is a Kiddush cup, and it comes from Sisterhood. And this is to always remind you of how sweet Jewish life is. Only grape juice in here until you're 21. Then Manischewitz, okay? That's one. Second, this is the ultimate realistic fiction book. It's a Tanakh from Brotherhood. So this will help you continue your Jewish studies. Then you are getting a $250 gift certificate from Nifty for a trip to Israel. And my tip to you is wait until you're a little older so you can go by yourself. You'll have a different experience than if Mom and Dad went with you. So wait on that for a few years. And last but not least, this magnificent certificate so that you always remember that this experience happened. It is an unshakable, unbreakable tradition at CBHT that this should be framed. So Mom, Dad, find a beautiful frame for it. And other than that, I encourage everyone to come out tomorrow at 10 o'clock to see this young girl do her thing. Great. So I have a few announcements, and I'll keep them short. Tomorrow, of course, is Charlotte's Bat Mitzvah. We welcome everyone in the community. All her guests, please come at 10 o'clock. Adult Ed with Rabbi Meiri is scheduled to start this Sunday at 9:30. There was a sign-up link somewhere in your email. If you missed it, just please come anyway. It's Asheville. We know RSVPs are just guidelines. Just come. Early voting has started, as Rabbi said. Please vote. It is the most important thing we can do for our future. And we had a bunch of voting resources in the Tuesday email. Sisterhood has a winter clothing drive on October 30th, right here at CBHT from noon to 2 o'clock. This will benefit beloved Asheville, so if you have items to donate, please bring them. Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., there will be a gather of people here packaging herbs from our very own temple garden to sell. So show up at 10 o'clock. You don't need experience packing herbs to come, and your hands will smell great by the time you're done. Thank you to parents Carl and Jamie for sponsoring the Oneg tonight in honor of Charlotte's Bat Mitzvah. As an Oneg reminder, please wait until we all gather in Dave Hall and say Motzi and Kiddush before helping yourself to the food. Shabbat Shalom. Ooh, yes. Where is the mic? We are going to do something fun, but to keep it short, if you are here for Charlotte's Bat Mitzvah, I'm going to skip you, or we'll be here all night. There's a crowd. But if you're just here visiting and have come through to check us out, or it's your first time here, I'm going to pass this mic around, and Ahava, will you help me? We'd like for you to stand up, tell us your name, and tell us where you're from. Okay, to the right, Ahava.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gary Winter, and I'm originally from Youngstown, Ohio, but I live now in San Francisco, and I am in town to visit your beautiful town and the surrounding area, and I wanted to join you for Shabbat.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi. We are from the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Asheville. We have a religious education class that's called Crossing Paths, where we attend our neighboring faith communities. Thank you so much. It was beautiful.
Welcome back.
Hi, I'm Michael Zalk, and this is my wife, Martha. We belong to Temple Shalom in upstate New York, and we're in town visiting my sister. And we might end up locating here eventually, and we didn't want to miss Shabbat, and have enjoyed your lovely temple and service, and want to wish the Bat Mitzvah girl congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Sorry for being on the wrong side of the room. My name is Lynn Brown. I am part of the Intro to Judaism class that is happening right now. Yeah. And this is my first time here, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're in for a treat with the intro class.
Hi, my name is Jen Mayer. I moved here to Asheville right at the beginning of the pandemic, so that was weird. And it's just my first time coming to Temple with my friend Jessica.
Welcome. Looks like that might have been it. Thank you, Ahava. Shalom, everyone, and see you for the Oneg in Dave Hall.
We have one more song to sing us out. I think those of you who have attended Shabbat services before may be familiar with Adon Olam. And this is Adon Olam.
Page 321, maybe, I think.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I know
Yep,
that's,
it is.
that's the page,
Mhm.
but. Please rise.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach B'Terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa, B'Chetz HaKol, Azai Melech Shemo Nivra V'Yacharei, Kichlot HaKol Liva'ado, Yimloch Hara V'Hu Haya, V'Hu Hoveh, V'Hu Yeh V'Tifara, Adon Olam, Asher Malach B'Terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa, וחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ויהיו אחד, ואין שני לך משילו, לך בירה בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמצווה והוא אלי, וחי גואלי וצור חבלי, בעת צרה והוא ניסי, ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לי אין נשא וחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא ביהדו, אף כי רוחי בעת אישן, ואירה באמרוחי, גביעתי, אדון עלי ולא אירא, אדון עולם אשר מלך, בטרם כל יציר נברא, לי אין נשא וחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, אזי מלך שמו נקרא.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.